Hello? Hey, I think I finally figured it out. Maybe. Oh, cool. Sorry about that. It's the difficulty of kind of, yeah, cool. Cool. Yeah. It's the difficulty of kind of having more than one streaming setup. But yeah, so as far as the Waffle House, I'm on my lunch break. um, yeah, and as far as the Sunspot group, I am going to be getting some when I get kind of the new solar setup working. The software can label the Sunspot group, so I'm looking forward to that. But that's probably a couple months away. Two streams must have none. Yeah, yeah, I'm going to be. I I want to try to take advantage of the extra solar activity, um, and have an extra stream during on days where the weather permits. So yeah, so all right. Good good afternoon, Doculus. How's it going? Thanks for joining. Let me zoom in on the prominences. Now, unfortunately, oh, hold on a second. Yeah, so this seems to be kind of like a bit of a jet with that prominence. I don't know what they're called technically. Dig in the ghost head. Yeah, I'm trying to, since I'm streaming in the place where I say I usually can't stream, I found an OBS plugin that does the background removal, um, so I can, so I can more easily stream down here. Hopefully, hopefully it won't take that long. I mean, since I went ahead and ordered a pre-built one, hopefully it won't take long. Like theoretically, I should just need to be able to put it on the telescope, put on the camera, and just focus it. Because originally I was going to get kind of the optical kit and then 3D print, but realistically, it would take me forever. So this will be pretty much more plug and play. So at least I'm hoping so. So it doesn't require, I think, a particularly uh, crazy scope. I mean, I've got I'm going to be using it with a Meade 70, but like an old one. It's not, it's like an F10. And I figured it out, and I think that one will work. Uh, and then as far as because I mean, I was thinking that even if it's got like chromatic aberration, it shouldn't be a problem because you're imaging in narrow bands, and so like the focus will shift, but it shouldn't. I don't think it'll be a problem. Now, the one thing that will be different is like the way I'm imaging now, I'm using a alt azimuth mount with a sun tracker. I'm going to have to switch to an equatorial mount, which is fine, because since it scans the sun, basically you have to have the mount kind of continuously going ahead of the sun and then letting either the sun drift across the frame, or you can actively track across it. So then your capture time is less. But yeah, I don't think it'll require anything particularly outrageous. Yeah, I mean the mount either you can either actively scan, or you can basically, if you set up the camera right, you can just or have it rotated correctly, you could just kind of put the telescope ahead of the sun in the sky, and then just let the rotation of the Earth kind of cause it to drift through the frame. And I did the math on it. The sun basically, because it takes 24 hours to go around 360 degrees, so that's 15 degrees an hour, and the sun is half a degree wide, so 2 minutes for it to drift through the frame. So, or you can have it kind of track. I saw things where they were saying you can track at like 2x or 4x in the or slew basically in the in the in the RA direction, and then to scan more quickly. But otherwise, if you just let it drift, it's a couple of minutes, I believe. Why isn't anyone else using the heliograph? I mean, there are some people out, I mean, there are people out there who um, use them, uh, but I don't know of anybody who's using one in a live stream. So that'll be cool. And I like it just for kind of its flexibility and being able to image a lot of different frequencies. So you can do like calcium line or HA line, or other things as well. But yeah, I think it's because previously it was it was a little trickier. It was a little niche. It's like niche on top of niche. Like H alpha is already kind of niche, and then this is, since it works differently, and like the versions were kind of hobbyist, kind of required some making where you get the optics, but then you ended up having to 3D print things, use, so there was definitely a big DIY component to it. That's probably why. So it was like a niche that you had to DIY. So that's probably why others aren't really using it. Yeah. Well, I'll find out. I might do a video about it, actually, depending on how it goes. But um, I'm really looking forward to it because it seems like it's been out for a bit. Like the original Solex came out. I don't know when it came out because I've been looking at it for a couple of years, I think. But like there's software with it, and the Solex team, it looked like they were trying to make kind of not quite like a solar smart telescope, where a DIY one though. So it would have kind of the Solex optics in it, and it would have like a Raspberry Pi and a phone interface, so you could just kind of drop it down and then do like solar photography. But that's like that I think is just very much. I think it's a new project and very much a work in progress. Have I thought about spectroscopy? A little bit. Originally, it wasn't kind of really on my radar, but the Solexes actually support doing spectroscopy, and I know um, Kai uses ALP for that with sea stars, and so I've kind of been. I think once I get that spectroheliograph, I might start playing around with it to see what I can do. Um, because otherwise, because that would be kind of cool if I could use that also at night. That would be neat. So just as kind of a different thing to add to the live stream. Because I'm definitely always about like, I mean, I'm interested in all aspects of astronomy, and so like that's why sometimes I've recently like I've been imaging asteroids, and um, I like doing planets and nebulas and galaxies. Like there is, I guess I think maybe spectroscopy might be like the next major area for me to think about or concentrate on. Well, not really concentrate, but kind of investigate, add to the mix. Need to find that asteroid made of gold. Yeah. So the Chinese can go get it. Yeah. I don't know who else would get it. Maybe SpaceX. Yeah. Replace the gold Messi from Fort Knox. Uh, yeah, hopefully. Oh God, that's not good. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I for some reason I was I remembered that old song, "Take this job and shove it," except take this telescope and shove it. So I'm testing out some noise suppression setting I just turned on. Do you know of anyone who got warranty service from ZWO? The only one I remember hearing about was somebody who was in the channel whose C-Star S50 started like caught on fire, but I think it was like only a few days old. I think like basically the battery ended up having like started smoking or something. Let me see. I'm removing the noise suppression. Yeah, that seems to actually make a difference. Just so I just turned it back on. I think I'll still need to mute it. Oil issue? What oil issue? Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. I would have thought that the lithium batteries weren't the flammable kind. Hello, Aster Chris. How's it going? Thanks for joining. Oh, interesting. Guess I missed that one, or maybe I heard about it ages ago. That's interesting. One of the big cameras. Oh, okay. At the Sea Star. That's why. Okay. Auto oiling. Maybe they thought it made the sensor go faster by keeping it properly oiled. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be doing the disembodied head much. We'll see. 2,600 leaks. Oh boy. It's interesting how that kind of gas to the lower the right side, how it's just kind of floating there and still hasn't dissipated. Must have been a pretty big eruption. I'm just curious, what resolution am I streaming at? I fixed the canvases, so theoretically it should be 1440p, but just curious if that's an option. Does the scope have an etalon adjustment? Yes. Um, I've fiddled around with it. The problem is it's very fiddly, and I think I got it to the point where it's best. But I mean, it's only a single stack, so it doesn't it doesn't get as much detail as the double stacks because the band pass isn't as narrow, which is why I'm looking forward to that new Solex type, the spectroheliograph, because that has a much narrower band pass, and so it can provide a lot more detail. Plus, it'll be higher resolution because this is an 8 megapixel camera, but it's like running in mono mode, so I think it's it it might not be as much resolution. And I think when you scan it, it could end up being a lot higher resolution. So um, yeah, and it'll this scope is kind of hard to add a focuser to it as well, and so and it's also kind of hard to focus on the sun anyway because well, especially today, like the seeing is actually really poor, and so there's like a lot of turbulence, um, and so like the image is just so wobbly. Like you can see, this is the raw view, and so focusing. Actually, it's not as bad as it's been, but there were times it was really jumping around, and so it kind of took time to get it focused. Um, but I think ultimately probably the issue is that it's just a mono. I mean, not mono, a single stack. No adaptive optics. I would love that. Actually, the thing I was reading, they were saying like the first thing in the morning is actually one of the best times to image because all the convection hasn't really started in the atmosphere. And also looking over a body of water like a lake can be uh, lead to more atmospheric stability, which is why one of the solar observatories is out in California, Big Bear Lake. Like it's out on a little peninsula, so it's like looking over this lake all the time, and so it makes the atmosphere a lot more stable. Um, Now the software kind of works around it by picking the best frames and then kind of sharpening them, but uh, it can only do so much. 1440p, cool. I'm good. Just want to make sure that that was an option. to make the waffles. Yeah. What was that old ad? Time to make the donuts. Time to make the donuts. But yeah, I have some plans for that spectroheliograph. My hope is that either it'll be a high enough resolution that I can kind of focus in on a smaller area of the sun. So, like today, I'd be able to focus on some of these prominences or the sunspot group, and I'd also like to play around with possibly doing time lapses, but like while I'm streaming, so we could kind of, because sometimes things move kind of slowly, have like a little time lapse kind of in the corner or something, or I could, pick an area and then just kind of see what did the last half hour look like with that object. But I need to get the spectroheliograph first. Polynomial frustration factor. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Uh, Random arrow on replaces Bill Nye the Science Guy. I mean, that would be cool. I mean, I do. Yeah, I don't know. I do. I used to watch some of that or some of his stuff. Maybe if I end up eventually doing this more full time. Or maybe I expand it into general science or like another channel. The random Erewhon, the random Erewhon network. Saturn ring to sit on. I've seen this where they have overlays that can do be in front of and behind you. Um, so I could do something like that. I was adjusting the camera background. I think I need to adjust it again. Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah, I think I would probably lose that. I think I would probably lose that one. Act like you're like, yeah, head on the horse. But I do like that idea of the ring of Saturn. That would be interesting. I need to look at that. That would be cool. The getting more dryers data. The scope. Are you talking about the H alpha scope? A comma through my head. Yeah. Maybe I could mix it up. Maybe Saturn could be one of them, and then I could do something else too. Maybe depending on what kind of target I'm imaging. Oh yeah, this on I mean it's a Coronado PST, um, and I'm using sharp cap. So sharp cap goes a long way, because like the raw detail is kind of blurry, but it's and you can use it optically too or visually too. So like this is what the raw frames look like. Um, which you can kind of see some detail in them, but I mean, it's basically kind of doing. I mean, it's like the planetary stuff. It's doing lucky imaging. It's filtering out, only showing the best 20% of the frames based on seeing. I don't know why I'm only getting 10 frames per second, but it's, and so, you know, it's only a fraction of a frame per second, but that's fine for the sun. But then the net result looks like this, which is cool. I really get a kick out of it. Let me reset the stack. There. Okay. Yeah, this so the camera is actually the same one I'm using on the refractor at night. It's the Uranus C Pro by Player One. It's basically a IMX 585 based processor, or I mean chip. Yeah, yeah, the yeah, kind of wispiness. It's pretty cool. Yes. So, oh, the camera in the S50 cooled? No, it's not. It's not cooled. Um, and actually, so the camera I have is a cooled camera. I normally don't run it cooled, but I'm actually running it cooled today. I put a kind of a postal envelope, kind of one of those padded envelopes in front of it, so it's being shaded from the sun, and I actually turned on cooling today. Yeah, cooking the camera during the day, freezing it at night. Luckily, it is a little cooler today, and I did put the camera in the shade because I'd been running it in the sunlight, and I figured that's probably not the best, especially with the well. Plus, the having the cooler on, it would have to work a lot harder. I hadn't run it with the cooler on until today. Solar with the S50, don't want to overheat it. I haven't had problems. I've run it in Texas in the summer, and I didn't have problems with it. I don't think it ever shut down or anything. I unmuted the wrong thing. I've seen people do a skin where they put like kind of or they do a wrap. They like wrap their sea star with like a foil kind of substance. Um, so you could do that, or you could like put some kind of uh, thing in front of it, like how I'm using a packing envelope, a padded envelope, kind of the plasticky ones. Yeah, I mean, it's good to think about. But honestly, I've run it for like an hour in the Texas sun and didn't have problems with it. But yeah, oh no, it's very cool. It's very cool. I've seen with so much clothing. Although I actually have seen people wrap uh, their Schmidt Cassegrains, put like a koozie, almost like a koozie, like a beverage koozie on it. That's what it looked like. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't had issues with it, but I don't know if I've run it for hours out in the sun, but you might want to wrap it or shade it somehow, like shade the bottom part of it. Yeah, if you look out there, you'll see some people where they have like either this goldish kind of color or just silver on it, like they've wrapped it with some kind of, I don't know what they're using, but yeah. And as far as like the H alpha thing, like the Coronado I have, if you have a normal refractor, just you should look at getting uh, that spectroheliograph because it does H alpha, but then it does other things too. Little mimosa umbrella on it. Actually, it is funny because I have like this beach umbrella, and I think I set it up last summer so I could sit underneath it with the laptop while the telescope was out. It wasn't the telescope wasn't under the umbrella, but I was. Because I know this might be hard to believe, but I do burn pretty easily. Oh, nice, nice. I like that. Yeah. So captured the whole solar eclipse without overheating. Yeah, I did too, but I can't really use that as a metric because I was in it was cold or cool where I was. So, but yeah, that's so there's an example. It's kind of a few hours in the sun. Yeah, I could see that. I actually I think I did get a sunburn, and I was in Maine. I'm just, yeah, I don't do well in the sun. Yeah, practicing a few days. Yeah, yeah. But I still got sunburned. Let me see if I can see a photo of that. Need radio star here tonight. Yeah, I like that name. We should we should create a radio star. That, that's interesting. In the '80s in Arkansas, you were in Texas. That's funny. The two people who live in Texas weren't in Texas for the eclipse. Um, but I dropped a photo in the Discord server of what I looked like after the eclipse. I think that was in a hotel in Maine. Um, so that was like that day. I was already fried. That it's funny because yeah, that makes sense because the weather was kind of looking so dicey in Texas. But I ended up leaving 2 or 3 days ahead of time because my original plan was to go to San Antonio area, and that looked like it was going to be a complete loss. Um, so I kind of started heading. Where did we stop the first night? Um, it wasn't in Tennessee, was it? Basically, kind of headed up the eclipse path, and then I figured if conditions changed, I could double back to Texas. Um, and then it still looked bad, and it looked like the Northeast was going to be good, and so I drove up. I forget the two cities I ended up, but then so it must have been like 3 days ahead of time. Anyway, then I ended up driving up to New Hampshire because I figured I wouldn't be able to, or I wasn't able to get a hotel room in Maine. So, um, and we got up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and drove up to into Maine. Yeah, yeah, that's what. But I didn't want to risk it. I'd spent so much time preparing and had this whole plan that in my head it was just kind of the sunk cost. Oh, nice, Murfreesboro, cool. So you guys are both in Arkansas. Yeah, hello, Stan. How's it going? Bit of clouds, but acceptable. Yeah, little team down Walnut Ridge. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I have no regrets about going all the way to Maine because the conditions were like pristine. The only downside is it was like 45 seconds or a minute shorter of an eclipse than it would have been if in like San Antonio, west of San Antonio. So that was the only bummer. But it was still longer than the 2017 eclipse. So it was still good. Yeah, it was quite spectacular visually. Um, yeah, that really struck me, that large prominence. It was really really cool. Yeah, so have I spent no, I haven't spent that much. Yeah, I was muted. I was actually talking to to my son off camera. What are they going to do when they force? I mean, I don't know if they will or not. I've been um like my last two or three jobs have been pure remote or high mostly remote, and that's like going back a number of years before COVID, like 20 years ago. Solar view around the water cooler, maybe. Hello, Kevin. How's it going? Thanks for joining. It looks like this kind of fountain or whatever started dying down, but there's something cooking, popping off over here. I think that's new. This is kind of fading, but I'm surprised at how long lasting this has been. Yeah, this is definitely faded. The kind of uh, jet fountain, whatever it's called. Um, yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what happens with that area. Oh, they're gonna try again? Cool. I mean, it was. I saw. I I forget what I had read, but yeah, I mean, those kind of delays are, yeah, makes sense. Better to do that than to have it um, blow up or whatever. I'm muted. Yeah, why not? They flew that banana that one time, so why not? And let me go look at the solar stream. Please bear with me while I try to pull this on camera. or on stream as it were. It seems okay. Just don't want to cover up some of the prominences. Oops. Plug in my laptop. Because it was about to shut down. That would be not ideal. It is interesting to me sometimes how sunspots don't seem that impressive or as impressive in H alpha. There's so much else going on, but sunspots are just kind of lackluster sometimes. Next time I do a solar stream, I need to, I may try putting it on the equatorial mount because the field rotation is kind of um, annoying sometimes, especially when, like today, there's stuff going on both sides of the sun, and then as it rotates, it gets harder to keep it in frame. I have to like zoom out, so I think I need to work on that. I'm trying to minimize blocking. Like I like the visible light, having the visible light image up, but I'm trying to maximize uh, everything on the screen at once, not block useful or interesting features. What I end up doing is, sorry, I forgot I had it muted. What I end up doing is I'll go to the Gong Observatory, because they have solar images. They have they have H alpha scopes around the world, and I'll take a look at their setup, and I try to orient it the same way. So they have like northern and southern hemisphere observatories, and they just try to keep all the images. They're all in the same orientation. Um, but yeah, so I think mine is because since I'm in an alt azimuth mount. Well, when I get started, I try to have the camera where it's rotated to be the same. Um, but yeah, so it's, um, but yeah, that's kind of the Gong orientation where the uh, these this. Let me just double check. Yeah, like the big fountain group here, like this one on the Gong images, they have it kind of over on the right side, like 3 o'clock. But I think that's where I kind of had it started, but because of the rotation from the alt azimuth mount, the field rotation, it's now here. But yeah, so like that's a difference between like where I am, and that is cool. So see, we're disproving flat Earth as we speak, unintentionally. This one has gotten brighter, but it stayed kind of about the same. I was hoping that it would like do something more drastic. Yeah. Although that is one of the things that I'm actually really looking forward to about that new Solex kind of thing, that the software will overlay the kind of the it'll overlay the uh, latitude longitude lines on the sun, um, and it'll also label the sunspot groups. Um, so that would be cool. That'll be cool. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing hiding behind the white light view. So like no prominences over there. So put it back. Guess I could shift it all to the left here since there is dead space there. Yeah, it doesn't bite anything. I'll leave it. It's kind of frustrating because this fountain or whatever it's called is rotating out of view because of the. Yeah, I think next time I'm going to use the equatorial mount. I think this is. I think this is might be a new little thing. Like this is showing up, but I think this might be something new. And actually, huh, Hello there. How's it going? I'm definitely doing a live stream tonight. Um, a non-solar one, but originally it looked like Friday was going to be good. Now it's not looking as good, so I'll have to play it by ear. But between here or Starfront, hopefully be able to get a couple more live streams this week. Especially Starfront ones. as I'm talking to muted mic. Yeah, I didn't even know that was an option um, to ask for FITS files. I've used that site, but just to try to get a state of the sun. I didn't actually do it today. Uh, a lot of times I would go and see if there's like prominences or any kind of activity that might be interesting. Um, but yeah, I noticed the prominences as soon as I got the camera on because it was set to a higher exposure, so the disk was kind of the sun was blown out, but you could see the prominences. Oh wow, 78 fits. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what you get out of that. That's cool. Yeah, no, that's cool. Very, very neat. I'm not 100% sure how much time I have left. Um, because well, let me see something here. I mean, before the before the telescope gets in the shade. That's cool. We'll be able to see the telescope get into the shade. Lots of fits out on this. Sorry, I need to lower this. There we go. Yeah, I need to. I've been thinking about that a bit more. Um, I may do something like that. Just because, no, I mean, I don't know that my Houston data, some of it's that good, but definitely for the Starfront data. It's a little, it's 67 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I need to, I think the shade I had covering the camera fell off. I need to add it back. But because the cooler is at 48% power, so I need to make sure that's more secure. So if I'm running the cooler on hot days, hotter days, that it doesn't like max out the cooler. Can they toss on a solar filter onto a remote S50? At Starfront, I, mm, yeah, yeah, that's exactly the problem. Like theoretically, I could have them do it, but in practice, yeah, um, they don't open during the day because most people's scopes, it's not like the Sea Star one at parks where it's kind of the lens is hidden, or not exposed. Uh, People have these scopes where if they're not parked where it's pointing to the north, um, that could be bad if sun got in there. Um, and they've like like they used to only open at sunset, but now they open slightly before sunset. Um, so people can do sky flats during kind of around going into twilight or going into the sunset time, um, or before sunset. But even then, I think there was concerns that if they did it too early, there would be potential for inadvertent damage. Um, so yeah, they're closed during the daylight. And when I was up there, I did ask if they. And by the way, hi Chris, good to see you. Um, but when I was there, I did ask if would consider doing like a solar hosting, since it is clear there more than it is here. uh, I was just curious, and they said they had gotten one or two requests like that, but they said if they got more requests, they would consider it. But right now, it's like they've had too few requests to really justify, because it would have to be a building just dedicated for solar. Um, yeah, which isn't really something they could really do. But yeah, I need to figure something out with my solar telescopes, especially if once I get that other one up and running, because I only have like basically 2 hours of the day where I can have them running, and I wouldn't necessarily stream all day with them, but at least have them being able to image the sun. So if something happens outside of that 2 hours, I would be able to capture it. But um, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a hosting would be something I could really do. Um, I just need to find a better place for the scopes. It is good that I don't see nearly as like the sky's actually blue now and not brown from the dust. So hopefully tonight the seeing will be better. So I also got like this uh, air not compressed air, but like this air blower thing, and I was kind of blowing out the sensor to make sure it was clean. Yeah, it's a roll-off roof, so yeah, it would toast. It would toast a lot of stuff. Yeah, yeah, no, it's thanks for dropping in. On the all sky, I see. Actually, not on the all sky. I see that looking out in the backyard. I see more and more shade. So it'll start hitting the near leg of the camera or of the telescope, but then once it gets to the kind of the near part of the head guiding scope, um, or the near side of the mount, uh, that's where the camera is that tracks the sun, and once that gets shaded, the guiding just falls apart. Yeah, that's one of the reasons, one of several reasons why I usually don't stream uh, down here, is because of, random barking dog. Not to be confused with random Erewhon. Yeah, I guess my concern is that like if my dog starts barking, then like somebody else, if they're watching the live stream and then their dog starts barking or whatever, I know because like I one of the dogs that barks at dogs on TV. Oh yeah, that is dog dog barking inception exactly. Would be worse is if I was watching it on TV and then like the dog barks and then the audio delay it ends up playing back and then they bark at that. It's like, wait, Somebody's barking. And it's them. Yeah, that would be that would be that would be funny. Oh, Luke Matico is streaming. That's cool. Thanks for mentioning that. I think after I end the stream, once the scope's in shadow, I'll check that out. I'm not sure how much longer it'll be. Not that I'm trying to end it, but I think so far it's still in the sunlight, but I'm not sure how much longer because the sun's a little higher now, but I know at some point it's going to go behind a building. Oh yeah, yeah, that was good. Yes, I am planning on going live tonight. It's supposed to be clear here. May or may not be clear at Starfront. Let me check again. Um, it might be clear at Starfront. Supposedly it's going to be clear at Starfront until midnight. So, if they open the roof, I'll be using Starfront as well. But we'll see. Cause yeah, it's like they might keep it closed for other reasons. Like yesterday, I think it was still high winds and dust, and so if it's better today, yeah, it'll be the S50 and the refractor. Um, because I don't want to bring up the reflector until I collimate it, but I'm not 100% sure if I'll have the light pollution filter or not. I might do the light pollution filter. I need to look at that because last night I ended up pulling it out before I went live because of the dust. I was having a hard time plate solving. Um, well, the refractor got dust bunnies. The reflector was the one that the OG dust bunny scope. But the refractor was worse last night. I think it was because of all the dust in the atmosphere, and I was trying to get things working, and I think I had it off too long. But I did blow off the sensor today. Oh man, shoot, hold on a second. Yeah, sometimes I'm misspeak too. That doesn't help matters. But yeah, last night I had the refractor. But I do plan on using kind of this computer duster, air duster, not a compressed air thing, but one with a motor in it to kind of. And I also have like some hand ones. I'm definitely gonna go um, clear out a lot of, just do it once over, make sure everything's clean. Yeah, I have a few different things. Oh yeah, the pen thing. Yeah, I have like an air squisher thing, and I have a few other little things. But yeah, I need to check it out. I'll check it out before the stream. Trying to deploy Python scripts to a server. Yeah, that could definitely be frustrating. Um, any kind of deployment stuff. Um, I mean, I'm monitoring some other stuff at the time, so I'm not 100% focused on this. Um, mostly focused, but kind of a long lunch. I mean, that's the good thing is it, the window when I can see the sun is right around the time I would normally take lunch anyway. And the fact that it's only a couple hours usually that I can see the sun before it goes behind a building. That also kind of helps, you know, uh, not take up all day. Oh, you Python package management. The one thing I've been using more recently, and I need to use it. I need to try using it everywhere. Is like I've been using virtual environments a lot, uh, but I've been using UV recently, um, and I've been pretty happy with it. Like for my local development for Alp, I've been using UV and some other software. Actually, no, not for Alp, but some other stuff. Actually, for like the bot that I wrote um, for the Discord server, that's using UV locally, and some other things I've done recently. I'm using UV, and I need to start using UV everywhere because I've been pretty happy with. Um, I mean, it's so fast and kind of handles the some of the package management for you, and it's easier to switch Python versions. Um, but yeah, like I've had this problem locally where I was using virtual environments and oh, okay, yeah, wheel errors. I had this issue involving a wheel being built that needed and it needed to get rebuilt and it just always would break. It had some external um, C++ library dependency that just broke, and I need to retry it with UV because I've generally had pretty good experience with UV. But oh yeah, like locally, I would upgrade my Python, and it would break my virtual environment when it would upgrade Python. When Python went from 3.12 to 3.13 on my laptop, my Alp environment broke because the virtual environment was still pointing at like some symlink that had changed, and it was annoying. Yeah, lib Kerberos. That yeah, I could see that. I forget which library I ran into issues with, but yeah, it's it's annoying. I feel your pain. Yeah, yeah. I guess I was kind of surprised at. I would have thought like the Python ecosystem would have been better. Um, but yeah, NPM. Yeah, NPM. Although with Node, you still have like you could use npm, or I used Yarn on some projects, or pnpm, and it's just yeah, not yeah. It's bad for moving data around, and also it's just like the fact it generates like 250,000 files when you do an npm install. Like that's just it's. I mean, SSDs have made it tolerable, but I remember working at a place where somebody had like a normal hard drive in their computer, and builds were just amazingly, like, they were just so bad on his computer. It was just so bad. It was like, kick off it was literally like a 1 hour build. It was nuts. I'm gonna turn off the time lapse on the solar camera because I don't want it to start, like, because it always ends up in the shade so quickly that it just really messes up the time lapse. And actually, it's not even in the shade. Uh, it's not when the telescope's in the shade. It's when the guide camera gets in the shade, then or the that's when it really goes bad. Luckily, it's still okay. Actually, let me go look at the GIF time lapse. Yeah, the GIF time lapse is a bit overexposed, but the movie file I should be able to do something with. It looks like there was like some uh, mild activity around the sunspot group during while this was running, so that would be interesting to take a look at. it seems like that some of those prominences on the lower right kind of brighten and have been brightening and dimming. Um, and that kind of big eruption or whatever it was kind of seems to be fading. So far the tracking is holding, but more and more stuff's in the shade now, so probably not much longer. So, yeah, for me, the most interesting one besides HA would be calcium. Um, I don't have this set up real easily to look it up, but um, yeah, the calcium line's pretty cool. Calcium wouldn't be my favorite. But yeah, I dropped a link to. It's not the best source, but it has a couple photos of calcium line. But I think like the different lines, it's like photosphere versus chromosphere, and so you're seeing like different activity. That's funny. Yeah, no. Not so much. Not so much. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so those Quark ones are kind of expensive. Um, there was a review of uh, a calcium filter that Quiv did on his YouTube channel, but you have to use it like with a Herschel wedge, I think, or maybe it was a Herschel wedge. But you can't use it visually because it's like too close to the UV that some of the light would it would like damage your eye. Um, but that's why I got the spectroheliograph, or ordered the spectroheliograph, is because it will do the calcium line too. So that's part of the thing that I'm really looking forward to. Did it say reflector? Yeah, brand new type of scope. Reflector. Fix your Python problem. Great. Oh man. Yeah, that makes, yeah, deadlines. Yeah, and good luck. Nothing like when you're trying to do a deployment, you run into like some real like incidental issue with like, yeah, with like the virtual environment. Yeah, I know how that goes. Like for some things, I know after the second or third time, I'd end up creating like a file just to remind myself of all the steps I had to do, because otherwise, or things I needed to check, like because like something would fail and try to write down the failure modes or whatever. Oh, cool. Cool, cool. Yeah, that's something I need to mention on the channel. The solar eclipse. Although it's such a limited area. Although there are a few people in the area. I mean, will be within the partial zone. Yeah. Yeah, I know how that goes. Like, those are the ones that get you, are the ones that you deploy, like, very infrequently. My best, one of the best, or not best, but some of the worst failures I've had were not, I don't want to say worst failures, but frustrating is you do a deployment, and like if it was Java, for example, and one of the jars had been aged out of a repository or didn't exist anymore, and so the deployment would fail, and it's like, okay, where do I go now? This jar doesn't exist. Yeah, those were fun. And by fun, I mean not fun. I think it might be getting close because I was looking at the all sky camera. Oops. um, let me see. Where was it? So it's like this leg is in the shade now, and so it's just a matter of time before this is in the shade. Yeah, Docker can make things easier and make other things worse. Yeah, I know how that goes. that's that's actually the like it says waiting for Twilight, and I have that on kind of my pre-stream that I have on Discord only. Um, but yeah, I it's a layer, and I accidentally clicked on it and made it visible. I see the moon has made an appearance in the all-sky camera. Right there. I'm not planning on switching to imaging the moon. Although I might do it at the beginning of my live stream tonight, but I need to kind of do some other stuff this afternoon, some work, and then prepare for the evening live stream. So I'll be dealing. But once the solar telescope's in the shade, I'll be wrapping up the stream. But it's still, I mean, the good thing is I think I've got a the telescope in a better place in the backyard, but also I think because the sun's higher now in the sky. Okay, yeah, I think it might finally be getting close. Because it looks like the pier extension is now in the shade. So it's just a matter of time before the camera, which is up on the other side of this part of the mount, is in the shade, and then the tracking will just fall apart. Yeah, I mean this is pretty good. Like I think I was hard pressed to do 2 hours before, but yeah, today I've been able to do 240. But this is like I might be able to do 3 hours, but it's basically just in the middle of the day, which is fine, and it also kind of it separates it nicely from the evening live stream, which is good. But the tracking should start falling apart here in a bit, um, even before the scope itself is in the shade. I am not saving the raw data, but I am saving a time lapse. So it's basically, although I stopped it a few minutes ago, but basically it was saving a stacked frame every second. Oh, hello, MD Arafat, Kareem, watching from Bangladesh. Well, welcome. Unfortunately, the sun is about to get in the shade here. Yeah, see, look, it's yeah, see, or the scope is about to be in the shade. Although that looks like it's just a chimney, so we might have a bit more time. It looks kind of funny as the chimney moves across. I'm gonna wait until it goes past, because otherwise this start stacking artifacts. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, as it is, um, I think I think it's like the stacked is was like 100 gig. So like the raw file would be like it would probably be over a terabyte. I don't think I could even do that long of a raw. Yeah, it's an alien. It is kind of weird watching it kind of move by. The good thing is it's not enough of a shadow to mess up the tracking on the mount. But I don't know how much more time I'll have, but I'll turn back stacking on once it's clear. Yeah, sun alien. Sun alien life. Nice. Next time I'm definitely using the equatorial mount. I can subscribe. Maybe that'll be my second channel. Although maybe it is over because even though the chimney's out of the way, I think that's the roof on the bottom. Yeah, yeah. See, that's why I need to figure out a better place to put this. It's now it is good. It's been over not quite 3 hours, but it would be nice if I could run it all day. Low or just a little too low. Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing is where I put it in maybe in a few days the sun or a few weeks the sun will be just that much higher. Oh, nice. Well, thanks. Thanks. Glad you've been watching it. Thank you. And hope hope you've. I guess you. Yeah. Yeah. Although sometimes it's like people during the day versus night. It's yeah. I'm just always. Uh, I stream enough of the day that it does give a pretty big coverage. um, but and I do sleep. I do actually sleep. Allegedly. Mhm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I had to put out the solar telescopes. I'm not completely a vampire. Yeah. No, I'm not a vampire. That's true. I just claimed I put it out. Allegedly, but nobody has proof. It is interesting between the uh, kind of color that the solar telescope's adding to the sun and the fact that it's disappearing behind a building. It looks like it's sunset. That's true. That's true. That's true. You've only seen me outside during the all sky camera at night. Yeah, yeah. It is cool. Donkulus. Where are you, Donkulus? In Florida. And I'm in yeah, I'm in Texas. Yeehaw. Yeah, big. Oh, what was it? I remember it's like belt buckle the size of a small hubcap. It would help if I unmuted. Yeah, I was saying I'm probably gonna stop the stream soonish because the buildings, the sun's behind the sun's behind a building. But yeah, if you join the Discord server, like it's a place to you can hang out and chat, and we have like the live solar image that's on the screen now is from Destin, and he's in New Zealand, and so there's always something going on there just about, and so if you want to hang out and chat, that's a good place to do it. Yeah, thanks, Donkulus. Glad to see you, and I'll see you this evening. Yeah, see you tonight. I'll be online or I'll be streaming in about 4.5 hours, 5 hours. For that's when I'll start, and then for a few hours. So conditions look reasonable. So don't make it 9 p.m. Well, the problem is it's 9 p.m. your time. The yeah, no, I mean the problem is, and I need to figure this out, but it was nice during winter because the sun was setting at like 5, a bit after 5, and so I always tried to start the stream about an hour after my sunset. So that's why I could start around 7. But the problem is now it's like 6:30 is when the sun sets. So really I can't really go live before 7:30. But the problem is 7:30, and sorry, and Starfront is further west, so that's even later there. The sunset, about a little bit later. So if I need to spend extra time trying to get the scope set up, that's why I end up starting at 8 p.m. my time, which ends up being 9 p.m. Eastern. So I need to figure out some way to either cut down my setup time, but then I still have problems because, like, it's just now March. And when daylight savings time comes along, I can't start until not like 9 my time, which is 10 p.m. on the East Coast. So we'll see. But yeah. Oh yeah, I dream of a permanent pier. Yeah, that's what I'm probably. Um, I think both of my headsets. Hold on, is my mic still working? Yeah. My AirPods are dying, so I think on that note, I should wrap up the stream. Thanks to Steven for sharing his solar image, and I will see you guys. I'll see you in the next stream, which will be in a few hours. So thanks for joining, and see you later. No outro. Yeah. Thanks JB, and see you in the next